Don't worry. All right, I'll work it out. Should we go around the room and say a few words about ourselves? All right, fair enough. That used to be a very funny joke pre-Panny D. It was very funny because people would look around and they'd be like, there's too many of us. It's not feasible. She doesn't want us to go around the room and say a few words about ourselves. Like last year before we went into lockdown, I said that joke at Hamer Hall and everyone went, there are 2,000 of us here. It's impractical. She doesn't want that. And about 2 weeks later, I did it at Enmore Theatre in Sydney, right? And everyone was like, oh, there are 1,800 of us. We're not going to have to introduce ourselves. She's off her face. And about 2 weeks after that, I did it at Falls Festival in Byron Bay. And everyone was like, there are thousands of us and we're off our face. And you know, the thing now is that we've got limited capacity, so everyone has a look around and they're like, I think she's serious. Like I see you all like just looking at the person that you're sitting next to just going, have you prepared anything? Are you going to go funny or serious? Like you're all panic-stricken. I'm going to say something heartwarming when it's my turn. You can relax, I've prepared some things, I'll just do that. What do you reckon? Yeah. You're into that. You're into it. I've been doing a lot of walking lately, right? Lots of walking. Developed a real habit for walking last year, just in lieu of anything else to do, right? Just like walking, walk there, walk here. Within restrictions, of course. If there's any cops in here, definitely within restrictions. When we were only allowed outdoors for 60 minutes a day, I'd err on the side of caution and come back at the 59-minute mark, you know. Very serious about these things. But lots of walks, like huge walks sometimes when we're allowed to, massive walks, long walks, very long walks, right? Like sometimes I'd go for a walk so long that I'd come home and I'd feel guilty that I hadn't raised money for charity. I was like, that one could have been a real cash cow, you know? Like it just went on and on forever. But what happened was over time, I developed a very significant mask tan. And at that time, it didn't matter, right? I was like, who's seeing me without a mask on? No one, you know? And then on this one day, Dan Andrews did the press conference and he goes, all right, as of tomorrow, you don't need to wear a mask outdoors anymore. And I was like, all right, this is great. And then I was like, oh, no, but now people are going to see there's a real top deck affair happening here, right? And then comedy started opening up and I was like, oh, no, I'm going to be on stage in the bright lights and everyone's going to know what's happened, right? And so the next day we were allowed outdoors without a mask on, and so what I did was I went for a very long walk in the sunshine in my Batman mask. I was like, this will fix it. Anyway, it backfired horribly and I spent the afternoon fighting crime. These things happen, don't they? It's awesome being back doing stand-up though. It's so good. I was reminiscing recently on a tour that I did a little while ago, and 5 comedians, we went out into the regions and we did a bunch of shows, and on this one particular leg, 4 of us comedians were from Australia. 1 was from England, right? And we rolled into this place in WA. It was a very hot day, like it was an objectively hot day. Everyone was hot. We were all struggling. But our mate from London was a puddle. Like he was like a little bit left of a man and mostly puddle, right? And he had no energy left. He was languishing. That's the only word I could use to describe it, right? We got to the point with him where we were standing in this car park and he could barely even talk anymore and he was just gesturing at the weather. Like he could barely keep his eyes open and he was just the arm into the atmosphere. Just, can we fix it? Like, will it change? How long are we putting up with this for, right? He was really, really battling. And so we're in a place called Port Hedland at the time right now. Give me a woo if you've been to Port Hedland. All right, no enthusiasm, and that's correct. That's the standard reaction to that question. Just woo, yeah, I regret everything. Now, for the rest of you who didn't woo and who have never been to Port Hedland, keep it up. Keep up the good work. There's nothing for you there. Right, there's nothing for you there. It's a very hot part of the country. So we're up there, we're in Port Hedland. Our mate, he's having a real rough one, and he goes, I'm going to go for a swim in that beach. Right, that feels valid, right? Apart from the fact we're in Australia. And I go to him, no, you can't just go for a swim in that beach. And he's like, what do you mean? By this stage, he's just crawling along the road. What do you mean I can't go for a swim in that beach? And I was like, you're in Australia, mate. You can't just get into a body of water willy-nilly in Australia. We've got to do some research. We don't know what's going on with Mother Nature out there. Like, we don't know what that beach is capable of. Okay, we need to find out. So I thought I'd help him. So I go over to the receptionist at the motel and I say to her very specifically, perhaps too specifically, are there any crocodiles in that beach? I was in a real crocodile phase. We don't know why. Don't ask questions. Are there any crocodiles in that beach? And she said, And our mate went, Ripper, I'm going to go for a swim. And I said, no, you're not. And he said, yes, I am. She said, there are no crocodiles in that beach. And I said, she did not say that. What she said is she has no fucking idea but wants to be involved in this conversation. Right? It just wasn't enough for me. You know, like we're talking about crocodiles. I wanted to nah, one hasn't been spotted since the 30s. Right? But meanwhile, she's just tossing a coin behind the desk like, heads for yes, tails for no. But then I thought, this isn't fair. Like, I don't know this person. Maybe this is how she speaks. So I thought, I'll test her. Right? So I go to her, do you think tomorrow we could have a late checkout? And she said, no. And I was like, you see, she can do it. She can. I don't know why I'm telling this story anyway. It's not great. Like, he was a lovely guy and a great comedian. We're going to miss him terribly. Julie got it wrong that day. No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke. It wasn't a crocodile. It was a shark, and that's on me, right? Like, I didn't ask about those. But it worked out really well for me because the following day when we were checking out, she said to me, do you owe us any money? Did you have anything from the minibar? And I went, no. You've been awesome. I've been Kirsty Webeck. Thank you very much.
Kirsty Webeck, everybody.